Yes. Okay, we're on. So today is Tuesday, the 17th of November 2020, and it's just gone 7:30, Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time. And we're talking EDU322, EDU322, and particular emphasis on the major essay. So before I do anything, hello everybody, and it's been an honor to work with you in this subject. Um, it's been so weird to be in Zoom instead of in a classroom. I yeah, it's just weird. I think that's the only word I've got for it. I said to myself, look, I'll shut up and let you drive the agenda tonight, but obviously I'll do what you want me to do. So your turn, shoot. And I think you're on the big screen at the moment with me, Emily, so you've got a question.
I was just wondering, because you're just talking about the journal. Were you saying that we have to do, we don't have to, but it says to do a little reflection on the selection that we take out of our journal?
Well, that's how I've interpreted it. The second paragraph of the instructions, and the last sentence, or after the colon, semicolon. Nevertheless, it is expected you make some references to key texts that have influenced your thinking and perspective. So I think it's sort of grounding your journal, giving it some context, and in particular, you know, if you've got a particular writer that's influenced your thinking predominantly. I mean, if I had to name one off the top of my head, I'd be saying Parker Palmer. He would be in my list, very high up there. So, and it doesn't mean to say, oh, how many have you got to have? No. One or two is what I'd probably expect. One or two references.
Okay, cool. And with the major essay, how many references are you wanting us to have there?
Okay, great question. Let me not answer that question. But was it you that gave me a sort of a structure dot points?
Yeah.
And I thought, boy, are you overthinking? Really, I think you were. I mean, obviously, I've seen this essay many, many times, and you haven't. But I read it simply in three categories. And I'm not saying everybody has to do it like this, but if you're puzzled as to how to structure it, I would say keep it simple. And I think there are three elements to it. For example, the first one, reflect on your own emotional and spiritual journey as an educator. And what immediately comes to mind there is I'm reading about somebody who was born in Nepal. And I'm thinking, boy, if I was born with a view of Everest, how would that influence my life? And now I'm living in Sydney, Australia. It would blow me away that I could have been born in eyesight of Everest, and here I am in a Western city. So the journey between there and here, physically, is massive. But then, even if you've not moved from Everest to Sydney, your journey is massive. Whatever it is, reflect on your journey, which could mean, boom, there was a light bulb moment when somebody basically got you into education, got you into teaching, made you realize you're a teacher. So that's a very, very personal reflection, that is. And as you read on, the next thing that hits me is your personality profile and traits. And examine your character, what makes you you. So it's like a reflection of that early chapter, if you like. Where did I come from? Now, what has made you you? What is you? What's your personality? You do your personality profile. So therefore, you've obviously got to have some references to the personality profile you've done, with a particular thought about your interpersonal and communication skills. You know, you're going to be living in a hotbed in a community that has a heartbeat. Are you going to be in sync with it, or are you going to be, I don't belong here? What are going to be the stresses and strains on you? Don't just think of the classroom, but think of you surviving the parent-teacher night and surviving the concert night. You know, are you going to put your hand up for putting on the Christmas show? You know, also, could you work with so-and-so? I'm not talking to them. Communication, interpersonal communication skills. You know, are you good or are you not? And then you move through to recognizing what are the biggest stresses going to be on you as a teacher, especially a first year out and early teacher. And let's have an action plan to compensate for where you perceive to be the stresses and strains. And that might be as simple as sleeping habits, as simple as a diet, exercise, getting with a mentor. But you craft an action plan that, you know, you can stick in the back of your journal. Yeah, I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And so that's your essay with a few references. Have a ball. There's nothing set in concrete about it. Do it your way. Okay?
Yeah.
And don't forget, the whole purpose of this course is to build resilience in you, that you're not going to get knocked over by the first wave. You will be a survivor. Because wouldn't it be ridiculous if we trained all you lot teachers and you all fail after 5 years? Oh, what a dumb thing that is. All that effort and energy, and you go and fail and become checkout or something. No.
Artists.
No. No. That's a very high calling.
I know.
Anyway, enough of me rambling. Next question. Who's next? Amber, unmute yourself.
I've got a couple, but I'll just stick with one for now so we can all, I guess, take turns.
Sure. Yeah.
One of the biggest ones for me is, does the word count include the philosophy? Because that's how I've done my draft already. I've included the word count, like include the philosophy in my word count of the 3,000. That's how I've written mine.
Where are you getting your
Because it says based on your philosophy of education.
Yeah, I get you. How much have you written so far?
I've already basically written it. I just wanted to double check that what I've written is basically correct. So I have 3,300, so just the 10% already, including the philosophy.
Well, you've done it then.
Okay, good. Okay.
But it's funny how you've read that. Develop your own philosophy. Is it exactly the same words in the masters? No, it's not. No, the phrase "develop your own philosophy" is the bachelor one. Interesting. You see, I've taken that to mean when you've written your philosophy. Where have you gone? Oh, there you are, Amber. You've written your philosophy in 101, 401.
Yeah, so I've basically just redone it and changed everything. And put it at the top.
But your philosophy isn't the words on the paper. It's what's in you.
Yes.
You are your demonstration of your philosophy.
See, that's how I interpret it. But I've put it in there anyway, so I guess you can read it anyway. And it's a brand new one from 101 now.
When it says develop your philosophy, is you're always developing your philosophy. It's always growing. You know, develop it. Go a bit further in the light of, you know, your experience so far. Develop your philosophy.
So should I send my essay then, because I included the philosophy in the word count?
Good, that's fine.
It's fine? Okay, I'll leave it then.
Yeah, because it is an expression of you, of course.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so go on, you're on a roll. Go for the next one.
Do you need to have a biblical philosophy? Because as per the rubric, it states you need one, but mine isn't biblical. Mine's just as is. This is what I believe.
No, is the short answer. You don't need to. Sorry, let me turn to the right page.
Good question.
It is. Major. Where does it say about philosophy in there? Which rubric?
The rubric itself. Will
Oh
say
yeah, the third one.
Yeah, Christian.
Integrate a sustainable model of within a. This is another mistake. Within personal dynamic philosophy of education, because basically NESA make us always add or alternate blah 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 education context. So there's no mandate at all to be biblical.
Okay, great. Thank you for clearing that up. Good.
You can write about a Jewish worldview or whatever.
Yeah, cool. Awesome.
Eliza, have you got something for me?
How do I unmute myself?
Yeah, you're unmuted. You're fine. Go, go, go. Oh, you've now muted yourself. So that's it.
Hi, Jim. How's everybody?
Hi.
I just finished my lunch type this afternoon, so I'm a little bit stressed. My head is still spinning. So I'm just listening and taking how it goes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Seriously, this essay is not, I don't want you to stress about it. Just want you to be real and be yourself. Okay? It's not a major piece of academic writing. It's an incredibly intensely personal one. So there's no right, wrong at all, really. Yeah, in fact, I would, when I criticize and make rude comments in the margin, it's really only for people who I think, oh man, I feel people who find it hard to express themselves. Typically, I mean, I'm talking to a bunch of girls tonight, but typically, this is me stereotyping the world. Some boys, men, find it hard.
I'm a boy too, Jim, just so you know.
Oh, sorry. Where have you come from?
I've always been here. I'm listening.
You weren't on my screen. I didn't know you were there.
If I'm the only guy, other than you.
Well, as I was saying, blokes sometimes find it hard to express themselves.
I do. That's fine. Totally get it. I understand.
So you've got to force yourself.
Yes, I do.
And maybe you could get a significant other to help you.
Oh, I'm going to write my own.
She's got to write her own, though.
Writing his as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome. Nice to see you. Is the sun shining on you?
It's still sunny down here in Hobart.
Wow. The sun has gone to bed already up here.
Yeah.
Daylight savings is wonderful.
Yeah, but it's also our position.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you're further geographically to the Antarctic. Okay. So look, while you're on, Keith and Rosie, any questions about the major or anything?
I had one question. I don't know if it's been answered before. In terms of the personality profiling, do we have to use the 16 personalities thing, or can we use a different one?
Use a different, or use two.
Yeah. Okay.
And my feeling is the 16 is a we found it to be good. And it's free, and the technology works.
Yep.
That's the recommendation I'm giving you.
Okay.
But if people were to do a personality test and basically see it as prophetic and exactly telling the whole truth about them, I would feel very sorry.
Yeah.
Please be critical with these things.
Absolutely.
They're ridiculous tools, and they may have some grains of truth.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why, if you feel like it, do a couple.
Yeah, that's right. I find the Enneagram test particularly useful in the Enneagram test. So
I've not heard of that.
Yeah, that's quite useful.
Have you got a link to it you can put in the chat?
Yeah, I'll
Or
find
on the news forum?
I'll find one.
Yeah. Stick it on the news forum.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. And that just it gives you a bit more information on how you I just find it more useful than the 16 personality.
Sure. Well, feel free.
And it talks about how your personality, based on what number you get, how you react or respond in different situations based on your stresses and things like that. So yeah,
that's very good.
It is very cool.
And reacting and responding, I would argue, is massive for the teacher.
Yeah.
And going back to a conversation I was having before when we were supposed to start, 7:15. But the conversation with Tamara, you weren't around then, I don't think.
Yeah.
You were?
No, I wasn't.
No. With the conversation with Tamara and a particular class she's familiar with, 4-5, to me, that's exactly it. How do you respond? Because if you respond defensive and they don't like me, and it's amazing how the kids read you, and you can't hide it. I find that teaching is one of these crazy things that there's no hiding. You are cranky, they see it. You're content and encouraging, they see it, and so on.
Yeah.
So responding to situations and how you respond to stress on the teaching profession is going to be massive.
Yeah.
I was asked to give you a bit of an illustration. I was asked today, we were in a big meeting, and a colleague asked, how did you get on with that? And he'd done a lot of talking in the meeting. So I wasn't pointing anything at him, but I said, well, I'm actually detached. And I found, oh, I hope he didn't feel offended that I said I'm detached. And he said, yes, I'm hoping to be. I wish I could be. So that's my coping mechanism for when there's stuff that I know I can't change. And it's not any point in getting stewed up about it because, well, it's just going to screw me up and I'm not going to change anything. Mm-hmm. So focus on what I can do and enjoy what I can do. Okay? So, yeah, how you respond is absolutely crucial for this essay. Okay. Shoot, anyone else? Don't be too polite, please. Just shoot in. Oh. Yeah. Tamara.
Jim, on the did you answer the how many references?
Don't count them. I don't think it's going to be many for this essay.
Just because it does say in part 2 in the final sentence that it's a reflective socio-psychological paper.
Yes.
So we're looking more at the brain than anything else. So
character.
In terms of literature, you're looking for psych references as well as teaching references, such as John Hattie and stuff.
I didn't write the question. That's not trying to get away from it, but what I've interpreted that to mean is whatever literature that you have accessed, obviously the personality tests references, personality profile stuff and all that. The teacher's life, the teacher's psychology, yes, I suppose. Mentoring, if whatever it is that you end up focusing on being your action plan, is where I'd expect you to be filling most of your references, because everybody's going to be very different. Their action plans are going to be heaps different, everybody. Therefore, just simply a few references, because I don't want you writing an action plan that has no no in-text referencing, because otherwise it's just a nice wish list that you could have done on the bus. So I don't expect, it's very personal paper. I don't expect this similar. It's not, for example, the first essay you all do on the 60 years of education, that is chockers with references. The second, also on 401, 101, the one about pedagogical styles that you like and the ones you don't. Again, chockers with references. And, you know, rule of thumb, you wouldn't even be a third of those numbers. So just write a great essay and reference what you need to reference, and don't be too stressed about that. Tamara, have you got more questions for me? No. Okie dokie. So
I'm just
yes, you
thinking
do.
in terms of students' parents.
Yes.
Do you want us to go into detail?
What do you mean by that?
So, for example, I know myself well enough that I know if I get a parent that comes in that is basically going to call me a liar or isn't going to put in the effort for their child, I know myself well enough that that parent and that child are going to be very, very challenging for me. I'm just not going to have the time of day for the parents, especially. The kid I'm going to make more time for. But the parents especially, I'm not going to have the time of day for. So do you want us to go into detail, like providing a full-on example of, okay, so Tommy's parents are divorced, mum's too tired, dad just doesn't care. Do you want us to like provide a full scenario about like how you think, like how we would react and how our coping mechanisms for that would be?
You can use examples, scenarios, but to me, I think I would be focusing more on your reaction, your response. So you say, if you're likely to put a wall up to protect yourself from stroppy parents, rather than engaging them in a verbal fistfight. You know, it's our parents, in general, our parents, do you see parents as being one of your challengers? I see that nod.
It's pretty much a yes.
Yeah, some people, some teachers, depending on their context, you know, the school context, wherever it is, it might be they feel an absolute bond and an affinity with the parent group, and it may not be an issue at all for them. But for you, where you are at the moment, it might be. So again, you don't have to make an issue out of it if it's not. But again, the trigger is what are the stresses on you, and how are you going to manage that? Coping mechanisms. Okay. Any coming into land, I think, folks. Anything else?
Can you use headings? I've used headings and then paragraphs underneath those headings instead of putting it all in one paragraph underneath for each section, and then it doesn't kind of coherently make sense as headings and then paragraphs underneath that heading.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, I get this from time to time. People, I suppose, who've been trained in, you know, formal essay writing for the arts, whereas what we're doing here is a professional qualification. Therefore, I would say, yes, I am a bit of a stickler for the APA 6th, 7th next year. The reason I go nuts about that is that I think it's something you can do if you're careful. And therefore, when I see somebody stuffing up their APA after 2 years, I think, what's and again, there's another, I suppose, reason why I do that is that if you're trying to get an HD, then it's supposed to be publishable, so it would have proper APA referencing in if it was going to be published. Therefore, if you want an HD, you've got to have that dead right. But so a cover sheet, and I get cranky with people who interfere with the formatting of the cover sheet. In other words, it's not good enough for them. They want to make this bold, they want to make that centered. Oh, let's have some color. And then I'm thinking, what are you doing that for? Just slap a cover sheet on, get the details in, bang, move on. So other than those two, I'm not, and the referencing as opposed to bibliography, that's really gets on my nose sometimes when people have stuff in the names of people in the end of the bibliography. Maybe they call the bibliography references, whatever, and they're not ever appearing in the text. Or the other way around, they've got in-text referencing, but they're not in the end of the. So these are things that I think are just tidiness. Let's get on with it. Other than that, subheadings or no subheadings, it's all cool. Karen. Yes.
Right. When it comes to that cover sheet, if you cut and paste it into your document to stick it on the front, it changes the formatting. So it's you have to, any cutting and pasting that happens, it's not us being fussy about the formatting. It's just us cutting and pasting, sticking it in, filling it out, and it's in the formatting that we have for the rest of our essay. So it's a little bit annoying getting told off for that because it's just the fastest way of doing it. I'm sorry, but
Karen, if you've been on the end of my pen, I'm sorry. Look,
but the last one, I cut and pasted, and then I went back, checked the formatting, changed the formatting, and this, it just adds time. So it's,
I know
that's what's happened. So okay, but I think it's not just me. So. Okay.
Thank you for the explanation, Karen. Nobody's come back at me at that. I must admit, I've been doing it for a few years.
Yeah, I know for every single one of my cover sheets, I just copy and paste.
And it goes weird.
And I just edit it, like the dates of like when I've signed it, when the due date is, and for whatever subject it is.
Yeah, but Karen is saying that once it's copied and pasted, it then stuffs up formatting, which I can understand.
Sometimes it does with Word, but for the most part, Word doesn't. It's generally whatever the font is for whatever you've copied it, unless Word doesn't have that font. Will you get down?
Okay, are we done, folks?
Yeah, we're good.
We're good? Well, look, have a good time, and so I've got your minors in, haven't I? So I need to hit some minors very, very soon, and I will get ready for that. Oh, a word about the transcripts. Transcripts, from some of the traffic, became a question. Oh, hello. Who's that down there? Just popped on my screen. Oh, there you are, Chris. I wonder how many more are down there. Hello. In terms of the transcript of the interview, I think I said on a previous Zoom, obviously I can't say that you have included every single word that was said. If some people wanted to record their interview and get some software to spit it out, that's entirely up to them. If some people wrote it out in more or less word for word, but their words, I'm not in a position to tell. To me, the point of it, I think, was to differentiate between this is what was actually said, these were the questions, these were the responses. But this is an interpretation. This is what I've got out of this. This is how I've applied this. So again, I didn't write the question. That's how I've seen its value as a, and also if you're doing some formal research, then yes, you're going to have a transcript one day. So why not get used to doing it? Okay. God bless all, and we'll be in touch, I'm sure.
Thanks,
Bye.
Jim.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye.